Every morning was the same. I go to bed and I set my alarm for 6:30. The morning comes. I even put the phone away from me so I have to get up and walk to hit snooze. And I go and I hit snooze and I go back to sleep until like 9 a.m. And then for the rest of the day, I have this immense weight of shame over me. I feel like I've wasted the entire day. I have this crazy amount of anxiety. I can't really focus on anything. And this typically ends up in me doing other harmful activities because I'm like, well, I already wasted the day. The day's might as well watch, right? But look, we already know that mornings are invaluable. And I know all of the night owls like to cope and say, I get the most work done at 1 a.m. Yes, that's because you completely lack discipline, and that's when everyone's asleep and there's much less opportunities to distract yourself. The morning is when you have your highest levels of potential and focus of the day because your brain is in its least foggy state. You haven't been overstimulated with a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of drama, your work, your partner, your friends, social media, and because you literally just slept and recharged your cognitive energy, which is limited, by the way, you are at your peak output in this window of the morning. Furthermore, because you're probably either a student or you work a 9 to 5, you're aware that an extra 1 to 2 hours in the morning could be the difference between you actually achieving freedom and doing the things, the career path, the side hustle, the self-development that can take you off the basic normie path of working a job you don't really care about, distracting yourself into oblivion and repeating the cycle until you die. And maybe you can retire because you have like $1 million at 70. So here's how to actually wake up early. The little bits of science you actually need to know, but most importantly, the true harsh reality as to why you're not currently waking up early. It's the same reason why I wasn't. And the best part is there's only 3 things you have to know, although number 3 might piss you off, but number 1 is know thy state. Imagine you're about to get brain surgery and you get to choose between 2 different doctors. The first doctor seems awake, alert, maybe he had a cup of coffee, but the second doctor seems sedated, as if he just took a sedative or smoked some of the devil's lettuce. And you can tell just by looking at his face that he's just not fully there. So logically, you would pick the first doctor because he's not like that. Yet every single morning, you are trusting that sedated, half there doctor to do the work. Because the version of yourself that you are entrusting to wake up, take a cold shower, don't hit snooze, don't scroll social media, go meditate, go exercise, is the sedated version of yourself, because there's not just awake and asleep. Being awake is on a spectrum and you are on the lowest point. Your eyes are open, you're kind of consciously there, but you're not awake. Therefore, 1, you shouldn't fully trust that version of yourself to make all the right decisions without any preemptive planning. But 2, when you wake up and think, oh, I still feel woozy, I still feel sedated, I still feel tired, I should hit snooze, 30 more minutes, 90 more minutes, 2 more hours. It's not because you actually needed more sleep, it's because you didn't even give yourself a chance to wake up. Therefore, to actually understand how to fully wake up and create a morning routine that's best for you, you need to know thy rhythms. Instead of spending hours trying to learn all the different science around sleep, you really just need to understand that your body is acting on 3 crucial rhythms that if you know how to leverage them in the proper way, 1, you can have great quality sleep, but 2, you know how to actually wake up in the morning. And the first one is cortisol. Now, when people hear cortisol, they think of stress and they think, oh, it's bad, you shouldn't be stressed, stress is a killer, yada, yada, yada. No, cortisol is amazing for you and you should want high cortisol in the mornings. Luckily, your cortisol ties a lot into the next 2 rhythms that I'm going to talk about, so I don't really have to harp on all these different tactics to raise it, but essentially get up and do stuff. But of course, there is one thing that is pretty much guaranteed to spike the shit out of your cortisol, and that is taking a cold shower. It just makes perfect sense because 1, it will guaranteed spike your cortisol, but 2, it plays into the second rhythm, which is temperature. That's because contrary to what people think, when you make yourself cold, your core body temperature rises and your body is on a natural clock of temperature. It lowers as you sleep and you reach your peak lowest body temperature while you're sleeping, and then it ramps up to wake you up, and then in the morning you're typically the hottest. So of course things like a cold shower, exercise, and walking outside is going to raise your core body temperature and thus make you more awake. And it plays into the next one if you're stepping outside, and that is light. Literally the easiest thing you could do to reinforce your body's natural sleep clock is to just wake up and see something bright. Bonus points if it is the sun. If you can't go outside, look at it through a window. If you can't look at it through a window, look at a bright light in your house or your phone. Maybe you shine a flashlight in your face or something like that. And then of course, later in the day, you want to lower your temperature. You want to dim the lights and have natural lights such as a candle flame or very yellow or red type lights that are low on the Kelvin scale. But here's the thing, you can know all that. I knew all that. I had this perfect morning routine. And I still wasn't waking up early because I didn't know the third step, which is know thyself. So I was in a call with one of my mental mastery students, we'll call him Adam, and he told me that he cannot wake up early. So he asked me if I knew any sleep hacks, sleep tactics so that he could sleep better and wake up early in the morning. And I started to humor him, and I was going to list off all this cool sciencey stuff that he could do, the supplements he could take. But I paused because something was telling me that none of that actually mattered. And I said, Adam, why do you want to wake up early? And he was quick. He said, well, to be more productive, of course. And I said, why do you want to be productive? And Adam just paused. Blank expression on his face. He genuinely could not conjure up an answer. Many want to wake up early, and their only reason is because they feel like they should. You know, they watch those black and white, Sigma male grind set, motivational videos about waking up at 4 a.m. and think, oh yeah, I just need to lock in. When in reality, just like Adam and just like myself, you just didn't have a reason to wake up early. And if you don't have a true core reason, you don't actually want to wake up early. You want to wake up early, which means you don't want to wake up early. We wake up in time to make it to work so that we do not get fired, or make it to school so that we don't get expelled and can get an education, because there's an underlying purpose behind it. That purpose being survival, because you need to either go to school to get a job or go to the job to make money to buy food and survive, which is sad when you think about it. It's so easy for us to wake up and go work for a job to help the owner or the CEO or whoever's dream be actualized. Yet when it comes to us waking up to serve our own dreams and our own goals, suddenly we can't do it. You don't wake up early, meditate, cold shower, journal, work on your business, read a book just for the sake of it. You are doing it because those are vessels for you to work towards achieving your true desires. And the moment you understand that and gain clarity on your core goal and view these things, especially the act of waking up early, as a vessel to get there, suddenly you're able to do these things because you now have intention. But if you don't know your true desire, if you don't have that core goal, your priority shouldn't even be waking up early. It should be gaining that level of clarity. And the first step that I recommend to everyone, that was the catalyst for me, is meditation, because it drastically increases your levels of self-awareness and metacognition so that you can become aware of the true desires that will drive you towards doing these things. And if you'd like to be guided by me in the very specific way that I do my meditations to maximize these things, check out my free 5-day guided meditation series, or Conscious Catalyst if you want my full 30-day program to take you from a beginner to a master of mindfulness, meditation, and metacognition. And once you begin to raise those levels of consciousness and awareness, then you can start asking yourself why you want to do these things in the first place and get to the core root driver. Because once you do, you're going to wake up regardless. It doesn't matter if you only got 6 hours of sleep. It doesn't matter if your sleep tracker said you didn't get enough REM. Oh, I need to sleep more. I didn't get enough deep sleep last night. The app told me. Because you are backed by a powerful force, and all you have to then do is set the intention. And when I say that, that means not saying, oh, I'll wake up at 7 tomorrow. It means consciously making the decision to wake up at a very specific time, and then explaining, rationalizing it to yourself, using that clarity, the reason why you're doing so. Because otherwise you're just gonna be stuck in the trap of chasing surface level self-improvement goals, surface level productivity. And because you don't actually have a core goal, a core purpose, a core driver behind it, you're just gonna fuck up over and over and over, and you're not going to make it. So if you'd like to learn how to unlock and leverage that level of discipline that comes from having clarity on that and doing a couple other things, you can click the video on the screen right now to learn how to actually be disciplined consistently. Or if you just want the full flagship self-development masterclass to unlock elite levels of confidence, discipline, and focus, you can check out Mental Mastery in the description. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.